All right, so my name is Michael DeLu. Today is episode 58 of Pull Up the Tape. Today is also Friday, June 11th. I'm recording live from Los Angeles, California. Thank you to everybody that's tuning in. Thank you to everybody that's supporting. Thank you to everybody that keeps subscribing to my channel. I'll fuck with you. I'll fuck with you. I'll fuck with you. The long way. Let's get it. All right. So we're going to keep this ball rolling. We're going to have high energy. We're going to have good energy. We're going to have great vibes. We're going to keep the ball rolling. We're going to keep rolling all the way to we just gonna keep the ball rolling, all right? So much to talk about, so much that I'm excited to talk about. Two really good playoff games last night, and I can't wait to get into them, all right? So I'm going to start off with the Eastern Conference game. The Milwaukee Bucks defeated the Brooklyn Nets 86-83, and now the Bucks, no, not the Bucks. The Bucks got their first win in the series, and now the Nets are only up 2-1 in the best-of-7 series. And the first thing I want to talk about, and the first thing that really stands out to me is the fact that Kevin Durant was not a part of the last play of the game at all. Like, he wasn't a part of the play at all, like at all. And as I was watching the game, I genuinely thought that shit was weird as fuck. That he didn't touch the ball. He didn't make the attempt or the effort to get involved in the play whatsoever. He just stood in the corner, and him and PJ Tucker watched everything unfold. And yeah, that's and and as a fan and just a fan of basketball, I was just sitting there and wondering, what the fuck was that? That didn't even make any sense. Like, I can understand, okay, if the play wasn't drawn for him, which that doesn't even make sense either. I can't really understand that because he's the best player on the court. But the fact that he didn't go out of his way to become assertive and get the ball and do something with it was a little weird to me. But hey, nevertheless, it is what it is. Blake Griffin was the inbounding player, inbounding the ball. Obviously, it was a miscommunication because he threw the ball straight away. Kyrie recovers the ball after almost turning. I don't know. The ball almost gets stolen anyways to begin with. Kyrie recovers the ball, almost falls out of bounds. Passes it to Bruce Brown, who up until that point was having a great game. Bruce Brown gets the ball, drives to the rim using his left hand, and then attempts a contested layup over Brook Lopez, who is fucking 10 foot tall. And yeah, and that was the game. He missed. They rebounded the ball. That was the game. And that was a pretty odd way to end a playoff game, but nevertheless, it is what it is. It was a great game regardless, and I can't complain, so I'm going to get into the box score immediately. Chris Middleton led all scoring with 35 points and 15 rebounds. Giannis had 33 points and 14 rebounds. And Drew Holiday had 9 points and 5 assists. But Drew Holiday provided the most clutch bucket of the game for the Bucks. And his layup, right-handed layup, I can't remember, right? Left-handed layup was what gave the Bucks the win. So salute to him. KD had 30 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists. Kyrie had 22 points, 5 rebounds. Bruce Brown had 16 points and 11 rebounds. But, interesting game. So I want to get into the positives first before I get into my concerns and just get into my overall, analysis of the game. But positives for the Bucks is, honestly, they won the fucking game. They won the game. I'm not gonna say I was surprised at what happened, but I mean, you're up 20. Like it was when I turned on the game. It was the end of the first quarter. My stupid ass. I thought the game was gonna be played on TNT. But it was actually on ESPN. I think that was like I don't know. I was trying to stream the game at the studio on TNT, and then it kept saying I wasn't getting anything. I'm like, I know this game has started, and then I figured out, oh, it's on ESPN. So when I tuned into the game, they were down. The Nets were down by 20-something points, and they cut into that immediately at the start of the second quarter. But salute to the Bucks, regardless of how the fact that they got blown out the past 2 games and they won this one, even though it's a tightly contested game and it was very, very close. They still got a W. Another positive is Giannis and Chris Middleton were overly aggressive. Okay, Giannis and Chris Middleton combined for 68 of the Bucks' 84 points, and that goes into everything that I was just preaching about the last after game 2. Giannis needs to be scoring at a minimum of 30 points. Giannis needs to be scoring a minimum of 30 points. Giannis needs to be scoring 30 to 40 points every single game if the Bucks even stand a chance to win a game, let alone the series. Same thing I said about Chris Middleton. Chris Middleton needs to be scoring anywhere from 25 to 30 points every game if the Bucks stand a chance of winning a game. let alone this winning the series, let alone a game. Drew Holiday disappointed me, but hey, nevertheless, the Bucks still got the win. So that's that. One important thing that I would like to note is that Brooklyn only scored Brooklyn scored 83 points, okay? And they only scored 11 points in the first quarter, okay? So a lot of uncharacteristic is an understatement. A lot of uncharacteristic things happened in yesterday's game that I just don't see happening again. Another one is, regardless of the fact that Brooklyn lost, there are some positives to take from it because of the simple fact that, man, Brooklyn's defense was incredible. Incredible. They're communicating. They're fighting through screens. They're playing aggressive on D. And they were honestly very, very good. Like, they played terrible offensively. Like, a lot of people play terrible offensively. But defensively, they played very, very good. Probably the best defensive performance I've seen from them all season. And another thing that was very uncharacteristic by Brooklyn is the fact that they shot 36.5% from the field, which is the second worst of the season, and they shot 19% from three, which has to be one of the worst shooting nights ever. Like, so this is one they had literally one of the worst shooting nights ever all season, and they had it in a playoff game and only lost by 3 points. So Brooklyn should honestly go into the next game feeling hella confident, and also, you know, Brooklyn overcame a lot of obstacles to even get to the point where it was a close game and get to the point where they actually took the lead in the fourth quarter. Kevin Durant played lights out down the stretch. And it was just, honestly, like, Brooklyn should not even feel, I wouldn't even say they should feel a way about this loss because they could have easily won that game. Like, easily. Even Kevin Durant's actual very, very last shot, it rimmed out. Like, it was too strong, but he almost made that shit. So I don't really see, the Bucks, out of the two teams, I was more impressed by the way Brooklyn, I wouldn't say impressed, but I'm still more certain that Brooklyn is still going to win the series. I do think the Bucks will win the next game, but I still see Brooklyn win the series. I never saw the Nets just steamrolling them like there's no tomorrow. But hey, it is what it is. And concerns for the Bucks. The Bucks only scored 53 points after the first quarter. In the first quarter, the Bucks put up a 30-burger. For the rest of the 3 quarters of the game, they only scored 53 points. That's fucking atrocious. They finished the first quarter with 33 points, and the rest of the way, they scored 53. What the fuck? Well, like, and that, again, that's a credit to Brooklyn's defense, but still, very, very disappointing. And another thing that I didn't even realize until late after the game, the Bucks actually shot worse at home than they did the first 2 games in Brooklyn, but somehow still managed to win. Like, a lot, like, again, I'm saying, a lot of uncharacteristic things took place in yesterday's game that I just don't honestly see happening again. So, I mean, it is what it is. Another thing, Giannis Antetokounmpo needs to stop shooting threes. This nigga shot 8 threes yesterday and only made 1. This nigga shot 8 threes yesterday and only made 1. For the entire playoffs, first round and second round, Giannis is 3 of 24 from 3. He's missed 21 shots from downtown. Please stop shooting threes. Like, please, do not shoot any more threes. Please don't shoot any more threes, Giannis. Get to the basket and do what you do best, okay? Hit outside shots from mid-range, but please don't shoot any threes. I'm tired of seeing you break shit. Giannis, please don't shoot any more threes. It is obvious that you are not good at it. I don't know who the fuck you're trying to prove to that you can shoot, but it's not working, and we all know you cannot. So please stop. 3 of 24? Come on, bro. Back to the gym you go. Jesus. Man. And also, the last thing I want to point out to just like uncharacteristic things that happen that just will not happen again. KD and Kyrie went 20 of 50, a combined 20 of 50. So what is that? That's 40%. Not going to happen in most occasions. The two of them collectively aren't going to miss 30 shots. And also, Joe Harris going 1 of 11 from the field. That's never going to happen again. But last thing I want to talk about before I get over this game is Bruce Brown. Shout out to him. He played really, really good yesterday. I think at a certain point in the second quarter, he was the reason why the Nets were able to cut into the lead, they ran a pick and roll play with him on like 4 possessions straight, and he scored 4 buckets at the rim each time, which was kind of frustrating to me to watch because it's like, how are you not able to stop this simple ass play that's being ran by somebody who's not a focal point of the Nets offense? It was hilarious. They ran one with him and Kyrie, him and KD, and he scored like 8 points straight. I remember for a fact he scored like 8 points straight, and I'm just watching this like, what the hell? But anyways, salutes to him. Shout out to him. He played lights out. He played great. Provided a spark for the Nets, scoring 16 points. I mean, he was probably one of the few people who actually shot well, shot efficiently from the field. Nevertheless, they still lost, but hey, it was a great game. I'm not complaining as a fan. I was genuinely satisfied. I love watching good competitive games. I don't like seeing teams get blown the fuck out unless they're the Clippers. Well, I love seeing the Clippers get blown the fuck out. For the most part, I always want to watch a competitive basketball game, except for if the Clippers playing. The Clippers playing, I want to see them get blown the fuck out. I want to see them get stomped by 50. If the Clippers are playing, I want to see them get stomped by 50. I'm an unbiased sports reporter for the most part, but when it comes to the Clippers, fuck them niggas. And I'm gonna get into their next game. That's the next game I'm gonna get into. And the Utah Jazz defeated the San Bernardino Clippers. I'm just gonna start saying it. I'm not gonna call them Los Angeles. I'm just gonna start saying the Utah Jazz defeated the San Bernardino Clippers. I might take turns I might say San Bernardino one day, then I might say Palmdale, then I might say Riverside, shit. Then Temecula, San Diego. Who knows? Who knows where I'm gonna go next with that shit. So the Jazz defeated the San Bernardino Clippers 117-111, and in a result, the Clippers go down 0-2 again for the second time in this playoffs. And I want to be the first to say, no, I don't think they're gonna rally back and win this series because now they have to win the next 4 or 5 games, which I don't see happening. And there's a bunch of reasons as to why I don't see that happening. First one being the fact that because unlike Luka Doncic, Donovan Mitchell has another bucket getter that can easily get buckets in the 6th man of the year in Jordan Clarkson. He also has, and one thing that Jordan Clarkson and the next person I'm about to name, which is Mike Conley, have in common is they can break down the defense and penetrate and get to the basket as well as create their own shot and shoot. The Dallas Mavericks didn't really have too much of that outside of Luka Doncic. Luka Doncic and maybe Jalen Brunson from time to time. And that is a very big the Clippers struggle with that. And Luka Doncic showed us that over and 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 over again. And over and over and over and over and over again. He showed that and I understand Luka is a very great player, but let's keep it 100 and let's be honest with ourselves. Paul George and Kawhi Leonard are not it. Defensively, they're not it. They get toasted, they get cooked by anybody, honestly. Anybody. Like, Jordan Clarkson was kicking against Paul George yesterday. Jordan Clarkson was cooking against Kawhi Leonard. Like, niggas take turns cooking them. Like, they are not the defensive anchors that people were hyping them up to be. Like, let's cut that shit out. That's not even – Paul George for sure isn't that. And Kawhi isn't either. Anytime Kawhi gets switched on to Donovan Mitchell, he gets work. Anytime Paul George, same thing happens. And another reason why I don't think the Clippers are going to come back from this 0-2 deficit is, man, Bojan Bogdanovic was on Kawhi's ass all night. In his grill, harassing him, all that shit, man. Sheesh. Shekbo. He was on him. They really got a body to put on Kawhi. And then the last reason, man, I'm not a really big fan of Rudy Gobert, but yesterday's game showed me exactly why he won Defensive Player of the Year. He's an anchor in the paint, and he's a shot blocker, and he's a rim protector. He's everything that, I mean, a lot of people wish they had in the center. And that prevents a lot of the things that the Clippers like to do, which is Kawhi or Paul George, ISO, drive to the rim, attract the help defender, and then kick it out to the open shooter on the wing or whatever. And first of all, that kind of stops because of the fact that, like, they're not really trying to drive into the paint to where they know Rudy Gobert is going to heavily contest this shot to where let's probably not even attempt to do that whenever he's on the court. Let's save that until when they go small and downsize and play, I don't know, Derek Favors or whatever. So for those various reasons is why I don't think the Clippers are going to make it out of this. And Honestly, what I thought is happening is happening. The Jazz are up 2-0. Mike Conley should be playing in the next game. I think the Clippers will win one game, but I think this series is going to end in 5, at the most 6. Donovan Mitchell, 37 points, 4 assists. Jordan Clarkson, 24 points, 4 assists. Joe Ingles, 19 points, 4 assists. Bojan Bogdanovic, 16 points, 4 rebounds. And Rudy Gobert, 13 points and a staggering, whopping 20 fucking rebounds. Rudy. Shout out to Rudy. All right, so some of the positives that I saw on the Jazz part is the fact that even though despite blowing a very, very big lead because they were up at least 20-something points in the third quarter, they still were able to come back and handle business and actually get the W. Donovan Mitchell, again, just continues to dazzle, razzle, like, I don't know, whatever the fuck you want to call it, but he's the nigga, bro. Donovan Mitchell is a nigga. And also, one of the things I want to point out is yesterday was Donovan Mitchell's 30th playoff game, if I remember correctly. And in over 6 of these games, in over 6 of the 30 playoff games he's played in, he scored over 35. In 6 of the 30 playoff games he's played in, he scored over 35 6 times. Okay, so that's a really big deal, and that shows you that, honestly, man. And he's averaging, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 28 points per game. And bro, he's been playing lights out. He was there. Him as well as Jordan Clarkson was there to provide very, 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 very big buckets when needed. And I just want to shout out to them because, man, they played lights out. Even outside of these two individuals, they had a lot of help. Joe Ingles came through, had a big 3 down the stretch. Bojan Bogdanovic came through, had a big 3 down the stretch, also provided good defense. Rudy Gobert was just cleaning up the glass, a key offensive rebound, man. They were really doing their, like, the Jazz as a team played very, very, very good ball. And not to mention they scored 23s. They hit 23s last night, and that was a big and very pivotal part in why they were able to come away with the win. To get into the box score for the Clippers, Reggie Jackson had 29 points, 3 rebounds. He led all scoring for the Clippers. He had 16 points in the third quarter. He was very, very big. Him and Jordan Clarkson were trading buckets in the third quarter. And honestly, without Reggie Jackson's big performance in the third quarter, yeah, the Clippers would have got ran out the fucking gym. Paul George had 28 points, 10 rebounds, 6 assists. Solid night. Wasn't really too strong shooting, but hey, it is what it is. Kawhi Leonard, 21 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. Other than that, not too many players on the Clippers really made a significant impact other than that. I mean, not that I can remember that it really stood out from me watching the game. And that pretty much was the game, and that was the game in a nutshell. It was close down the stretch. The Clippers actually took the lead at one point, but then Donovan Mitchell came right back and did what he does best, which is step on these niggas' hearts. And that was the game. Very, very good game. Very, very good series so far. Fuck the Clippers. I gotta throw that out there. Fuck the Clippers again. I hope the Clippers get smashed in the next game by 50, but it is what it is. They probably won't. They'll probably come out and win the next game. I hope they don't, but it is what it is. That concludes today's podcast. I'm really excited because the Euros are here. It was supposed to happen last year, but it didn't happen last year. So Euro 2020 is set to begin today. Italy and Hungary. Is it Hungary or Hungary are the first game on the slate. So I'll be covering that for the next month. Those are my soccer fans. Tap in. I know you guys can see in the back of the wall. There's a couple soccer players right here. I know Callum Hudson-Odoi is right here. Alex Morgan is right here. Robert Lewandowski is right here behind my bicep. I don't really see any more, but that's about it. Like, comment, subscribe, share this video with anybody you know that loves sports, loves basketball. I'm gonna be covering the NBA Finals for the rest of the time that it's here. Continue to share my podcast and pull up the tape game. Let's get it. Viral movie, Favi, shake the room. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Stay positive, stay blessed, stay productive, all that stuff. All right. So I'll see you guys tomorrow.